is 8:41. Newstalk Sauga 960 Raw. Mike Richards, where we give you the secrets of life, a longer life, a more fun life, a more fulfilling life. Of course, the problem with that is everyone knows I'm a liar, so sometimes it's like, okay, what's he saying now? What's he talking about now? Well, as you know, with this second wave being sort of declared, the Prime Minister's already, of course, again, speaking of who we should believe or not, but I'm just saying the Prime Minister has said that there's going to be a second wave. And so the risk of flu complicating the pandemic, which it completely would. And of course, they're saying now it will peak sometime in October, as we've learned. And as we talked with Jennifer a couple of weeks ago in talking about allergies, that you don't take it as it arrives. You start getting your body prepared for what's happening. You start taking it now. That's the one thing that we have learned. And so when it comes to the immune system, no different. And so what do we do? Is it the immune booster? Well, why listen to me when we can have Tim Allen and Doug Carey, the famous team of Allen and Carey, joining us here this morning. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning.
So this whole thing about the immune system, we kind of think we know. I know that we don't, but people sort of talk that way. They think they have an idea on what sort of supports the body in these scenarios. And just for clarity, we're not saying taking these products means that you won't get COVID. I know that there are claims by certain companies, certain medicinal properties from, that this will stop you from getting COVID. Okay, we don't have that. This is not a cure, but this is about your body and trying to build up that immune system. So what are we really talking about here this morning in terms of products?
Well, there's a host of products that we have in the immune category, but there's a couple that are very relevant right now. So I think, as everyone's noticed, we're starting to get COVID fatigue, where, we're just pretending it's not as bad as it was. And this is one of the reasons why we're getting the second wave, is people are letting their guard down. And as we get into flu season, it's even more important to make sure that your health is at a maximum, that your immune system is ready for the season. And there's a few ways you can do that. One, an obvious one is just eat right. You want to make sure that you're eating right. You want to make sure that you're getting lots of sleep. We've talked before about how important your sleep is to make sure that you're staying healthy. Because we have flu season coming up, it's important that people go out and get their flu shot, because you really won't be able to tell the difference on symptoms alone, whether you have the flu or whether you have COVID. And, God forbid that you have both, but you want to make sure that
you're a proponent of the flu shot. I know some people debate about that, or they have these slight arguments. You would suggest a flu shot is good.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, I come from an industry where there are a lot of anti-vaxxers, and it's common in our industry because you want to have a natural approach to your health. But you got to look at science too. It's the same reason why our products are, looked over by Health Canada to make sure they work. You want some scientific evidence to support your products, and you want evidence to support your immune system. So when it comes to vaccines, flu vaccine, for example, it's very clear that it helps, and you get that herd immunity. That's a very important aspect. So personally, I'm definitely pro-vaccine. I've been taking the flu shot for as long as I can remember, and I rarely get sick. And that's a big reason why, that's one of the things you can do, especially going into the season with COVID, is you want to take as many precautions as you can. So not only are the basics like sleep and eating right and taking a flu shot, but you can also boost your immune system too, and we have some products for that.
Yeah, and one of those products, and Tim, I'll approach this with you. I've been almost doing it as a maintenance right now because I'm not sick, knock on wood. The family's been very healthy, but using Supreme Immune Booster is something that I've used consistently, especially in the last month, just because we've had some really weird temperature climbs and declines, and now it looks like This week is going to go into the low teens as well. This is where you get those colds, and this is where you start getting those runny noses just because of the inconsistencies. Maybe tell us more about Supreme Immune Booster and why it does work.
This particular product is one of our best selling inside of our immune category, and has been part of our lineup for quite some time. And I believe that when we talk about this particular product, we're just talking about overall immunity. It's not necessarily targeted, but definitely ramps up the immune system. So the immune system, it's almost like building your army to defend your body, defend your health during that time period. And this particular product, it doesn't have multiple ingredients. It's basically we have the Coriolis that is the main driver inside of this. And for some people, they look at this and go, oh, that's like a fungus of some sort. Well, it is of the mushroom family, and this one has been shown through studies to really drive the white cell blood count, and that plays into the immune system. Yeah, I don't know what else to tell you on this, except that this, along with a couple of other items working together, have done a terrific job for so many people. And it's interesting, as Doug was talking earlier, about getting the vaccination and ensuring that you're defended through the cold and flu season. I think one of the other pieces to add to it is to ensure that you stay hydrated. We talk about eating well, we talk about getting sleep and rest. I think the other piece of it is really to stay hydrated as well, to keep your bodily functions all working at the optimum level. We talk that we have these products to defend ourselves, and we are careful not to go down the path to say that we'll prevent something or that we will cure something. But what we do know, and you know this yourselves, is that as you go through a cold and flu season, and there's people that get sick around you, and you are interacting with those people, there's always people that go into it and they come out the other side without having any impact at all. And their immune system is working incredibly well.
Now, I'm just curious, you know, the way that this company started all those years ago with shark cartilage and the properties of the shark, how did that come to be? I see there's also shark liver oil, which is another product that you can have in combination with these other ones. How did they initially figure out that the shark had these properties of whatever it was, whether it's the cartilage, the liver oil? How did they come to that conclusion that that was something that affected our bodies that way? Because there's not usually the correlation between humans and shark isn't good. We normally lose in that comparison. So how did we figure out, going the other way, maybe in that scenario, that the shark is actually good for us? How did he figure this out? How did he get it?
You know what, we're really lucky because there have been generations and generations and generations ahead of us, Mike. And whether it's it's true. I mean, we look at all the people that have experimented ahead of us. I mean, there's been the people that have found certain products that haven't worked. But the ones that have, I mean, in the case of shark, there are certain cultures around the world that would harvest shark as a food product. And in consuming those animals, they're going to consume a good portion of the shark. And in doing that, they would have experimented with different parts of the body. I mean, how do you explain that people took cod liver oil for so many years? I mean, we've all tried it, right? Doesn't taste so great, but we know the benefits of it. Similarly with shark, with the cartilage components being consumed, people would be moving freely. Studies would be conducted over time. Research develops. And we're talking over decades that this has been done. And that's really how it comes to light. We know that from many years ago now, and in fact, when I got into this industry, there was research being done with the Inuit people and why they were living these longer lives or these healthy lives and not experiencing heart attacks. And here they were living in an extreme climate. What were they doing? They were consuming large amounts of fish, seal. They were consuming an awful lot of animal product, and yet they seem to live a healthy life and were not impacted by disease. So again, it's just all the generations that have come before us that have experimented, and then the research gets documented and further research takes place.
Doug, we talked about Supreme Immune Booster. There's also a cold and flu immune support. How do the two differ? And as Tim brought up, there are certain products you can take together. Is the cold and flu immune support something you can double up on with the booster?
You can double up on them. They work in slightly different ways, but they can certainly work together. As Tim mentioned, the immune booster is based on Coriolis, which is a mushroom. And the cold and flu has a number of different ingredients, all with different actions. So you have things like echinacea, which is well known for cold and flu. You have black cumin, you have elderberry, which is also good in relieving fever. So now you're looking at some of the symptoms if you do get cold and flu. And as well as, several ingredients all in one. So
Don't forget Mike's all-time favorite, oregano. We got oregano in this, Mike.
You gotta have oregano.
Talk about pizza for the rest of you.
I don't want to hear about stuff that doesn't have oregano in it. In fact, I don't trust anything that doesn't have oregano in it, of course. And you said elderberry, so I thought you said elderberry as in elderberry wine, as in Elton John.
Yeah.
And he's going to live forever. So there we go. I think we proved our point here. This is important.
It has olive leaf too, if you want to. If you like that on your pizza.
Well, it is. Look, it's of conversation. People are like, okay, sports morning show for the most part. You have all these different conversations. Yeah, but we live in the world, and in this world, a big part of it, as you gentlemen know, now we have, at least on one side, kids that are now beyond the school age. But the talk of what happens in schools right now is very, very important. It's very poignant. I have a wife who's a school teacher, and so. They want to know that they're going in because the classes are bigger than what they said, right? So they said it'd be 15. It's bigger than 15. So they're and my wife, obviously, Linda, would be very concerned about her own immune system. If you're going into a place where there are people you're working into, maybe it's not quite an office scenario, but maybe you work in retail. Maybe there's just a scenario where it doesn't matter really what a format of a show is or what you're doing. This is up topic right now. We watch every day CP24. You have municipal politicians, federal, provincial. They're always talking about what is going on a daily basis with this COVID-19 and, of course, the second wave. So this can never be that far a conversation, no matter what you do in your life or what you do in your world, no matter what your job is. These kinds of conversations are important. And what we're saying this morning is, if you want to help yourself, which is help your body to the best it can be, to be as healthy as you can be, that's why you would take the Supreme Immune Booster. That's why you would take the cold and flu immune support. And we talked about the shark liver oil. These are the kinds of things that are going to help you avoid that. Now, you still have to social distancing, washing your hands, wearing the mask. It's all important. This is just adding, as Tim said, to your arsenal. That's what this is all about. Oh, I thought that
pretty
was
well sums it up, doesn't
that
it?
was wow. Can I be the vice president of something? Because I thought that was pretty good.
Yes, well, we can promote you to a role.
Yeah, that's exactly what you need. Well, it was excellent this morning. Great to see you both. As I said, it's weird how the summer is kind of come to a halt. We had a beautiful September as well. The summer was great, but this is going to be a bit of a battleground to get a feeling for all of us in October. This is where really it counts. And if we're going to listen and do the things we should, this is certainly a part of it. So I'm so glad you joined us here this morning because, as I said, it doesn't matter what you do. This is where we're living right now. And if you want to live, this is what we're talking about. So
and
thanks so much.
If you want to play sports, stay healthy.
Well, you got that right. You got that right. Tim, thanks so much for this morning, as well as Doug, Carey. Thanks, gentlemen.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Mike, Dave. See you again soon.
Once again, Tim and Doug joining us here this morning as we talked about. Now, remember, when we mention these products, they all come with a number, which makes it very, very easy. So if you're talking about the Supreme Immune Booster, that's 52. The shark liver oil is 51. And the cold and flu immune support is 25. So if you want to look at it that way, make it easy, those are the numbers that you need to know.